Howdy folks, and welcome to another IBM BPM technical tutorial. In this edition I was building out a BPM solution and ran into a puzzle. And in this puzzle a colleague showed me a really elegant solution that I just loved, and it worked perfectly, so I thought I would make a short video and share the goodness. So the story here is I have a business object, and the business object contains three fields: an amount, a description, and whether or not this field is editable or not. So we now wanted to populate this data and show it in a table. So what I did was I created a coach. We populate the data. I build a list of the elements on it. Here's some data, and then I created a coach, and in the coach I used the table control, created three columns: description, amount, and editable. And when I play the coach, we see that I have data. Here's my description, here's my amount, and here's the editable value. The defaults here are set in my code. Great! Now let's look at the editable column. The editable is a checkbox, and it should be that when the editable is true, I can edit the value. Wonderful. However, when editable is false, I do not want to be able to edit the value. So while we have the editable checkbox or value in the business object set to false, whoops, we're still editable. So the question then becomes, what might I do in my human service to be able to make this input field not editable or disabled if the corresponding business object field value for the row has got editable as false? So that was my puzzle, and I had a good think about it, and I couldn't come up with a great solution. Then I contacted a colleague, and my colleague said, silly guy, this is how you do it. And I went, wow, that is super elegant. So again, the story here is I've got variables, I've got data. The data contains an amount, a description, and editable, and what I want is that editable field to be taken into account by my solution. So let me show you what we came up with. Now, first of all, I'm going to show you the result. So here's my coach again. Now let me play this for you, and let's see what we ended up with. So here is my table. Fields which are flagged as not editable are not editable. Fields which are flagged as editable are editable. If I change the field from editable to be non-editable, it becomes non-editable. That's exactly what we wanted. So this is absolutely perfect. So how did we do this? Well, the secret was to add a new column into the table. And that new column, I called it data, and it uses one of the data coach views. Now the data coach view allows me to bind the data coach view to a value in my data. So in this case it's the editable field in the current row of my data, and when that field changes, events are fired. So if the value changes or we load it, an event is fired. And what I then did, and this is the secret sauce of this, the event handler for the data coach view, there's going to be one of these per row, that is given to us, or a reference is given to us by the variable called me. Ask the UI, get the sibling. So now we're looking for a sibling on the same row. Find me the coach view on the same row, which is called amount, and this input field here is called amount. So find me the amount coach view and set its enabled status to the value of the bound variable, i.e. the data field. So this gets set when the table loads, and it gets changed whenever the data changes. Now because we don't want this column in the table to be visible, we can go into the configuration of the table, and we can define the last column here. So there's 4 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4. We can define the last column, column 4, as being not visible. And that's it. That's all there was to it. But an incredibly easy, simple, powerful technique by using the data coach view as a hidden column in the table. We can then be given for each row the value associated with whatever is bound to that data field, and what we bound again was the editable value in the row. We can be called whenever that is loaded or whenever it's changed, and that can then affect the outcome. So again, just to see it run once more, here's the original data, change the visibility, they become readable or editable or not. And that is just super cool. I like that. I like that lots. So I wanted to pass on this tip. I hope it's useful to you all, and I look forward to making more of these in the future. Thanks guys, and bye for now.